Hello, welcome to Sports 7. We are introducing our new video series. We're going to call this the Sports 7 video series.
Yeah, the name idea is still a little bit away, but we decided to start this. Perhaps some of you guys remember the podcast series we did for about, we started that in November. Before winter.
Yeah.
We're in that for the spring a little bit, and now we haven't done a few of those in a while. We had a lot of computer issues for a long time. So we decided to start a video series. And we're going to talk about a lot of topics in sports. Obviously, there's several really big ones going on right now. The summer, a lot of it's going to be MLB, but right now we still got the NBA and NHL going on. So, Tyler, but obviously there was a bigger event yesterday. You want to tell us about that big one?
The U.S. Open?
Absolutely.
Well, the U.S. Open was like none before. We actually had a winner who was positive. He didn't break par.
You say it's like none before, but Phil Mickelson finished in second.
Yeah, true.
I mean, that's a pretty common thing.
It was a second place finish.
Second best golfer of the Tiger era.
Yeah.
But, boy, he just can't win the U.S. Open. But he seemed like he was doing well, didn't he?
He did. His first 3 rounds were spectacular, and then Father's Day comes, and he chokes on his birthday.
It's unfortunate. Well, not his birthday.
Yeah, it was his birthday.
Oh, is it actually his birthday? I missed
that.
That's actually really neat, though. But double the presents, I guess. Yeah. But, I mean, I don't know what it was with Phil Mickelson. Justin Rose played well. Give him the credit. But at the same time, you were kind of maybe expecting more from Mickelson to step up.
Yeah, Mickelson hasn't exactly stepped up in the U.S. Open yet.
But let's talk about Justin Rose perhaps blooming yesterday. Obviously, he played really well late in that game. And
he finished with +1 was the winning score.
He just finished what he was given. But Tiger Woods,
he finished, I think it was either +8 or +9. He didn't.
It was bad. I know it was around that number. I can't remember.
He was coming off his worst start ever, worst 9 holes ever.
He did say I heard something. He said he liked the course. No,
a lot of golfers said that.
I've heard this. They said there was a lot of articles actually written about what they liked about this course. They said it was a newer style. They liked it. Yeah. But I mean, I guess it was a really tough one to play though.
It was definitely a different course. They had everything at that place.
It is good to see them.
Yeah.
Now, not only was the U.S. Open a really big topic right now with that just happening, but there's several other really big ones. Tyler, what about the NBA Finals last night?
That series.
We said the Game 5 was, and everyone's talking about this, Game 5 is going to make the series, and it certainly did. Yes, you just look at how LeBron James did. 8 of 22. He had 25 points.
That's not LeBron James.
You can't miss that many shots and expect to win. Dwayne Wade, 10 of 22.
I have to say, Chris Bosh was probably their best shooter.
7 of 11, but then again, his 16 points was real big. Don't forget about Ray Allen, I believe.
Ray Allen had to break out
off the bench. He looked good late. It just
on a night where his record was broken.
Yes, obviously that's another big topic. Danny Green, if the Spurs win the series, he will probably be the MVP.
Who would have thought at the beginning of the season Danny Green could be the NBA Finals MVP?
Wow, you'd be making a lot of money if that holds true. I'll tell you what, he made 23 3-pointers in this whole series. That's the new finals record. Broke Ray Allen's record of 21, I believe they set in the 2008 finals. So it's been a few years, but at the same time, I don't even know. Danny Green, it's a lot of confidence. I think it's a lot of guys. You catch and shoot. They say it just comes naturally. But maybe that's actually what's just coming. He's just catching and shooting.
Yeah,
it's like
I
practice.
think he's just getting pretty lucky.
I don't know. He's getting his feet set. You see him set his feet correctly. You give him time. But there's been a couple of times ball came to him in the corner. He had about 3 seconds or so. Waited. Took his time. Shot it. He's gonna make those every time.
I don't know. if he continues next season, then we'll actually.
Heck, do you even know if he'll be back with the Spurs next season?
We don't.
He can make some big money with a trade. The Spurs can get some big return. I don't know if they want to, but he's the guy who's going to want more money either way. Yeah. And obviously, I don't blame him. There's 24 points last night, a lot of them via the 3-point.
They could always bring someone else to do his job.
Gary Neal, you don't know if he'll be back either. He's done.
There's a lot of pieces.
Regardless of if the Spurs win or not, you don't know about those two for sure. And then of course Tony Parker, he's been playing through injury. He quietly led the team with 26 points last night.
Yeah.
It's pretty solid effort from him.
Yeah, he's been solid this entire series. He's probably one of the biggest reasons.
Despite the injury.
Yeah,
I think he's still been really solid.
He's probably the reason Who was it? Green had those 23.
He's been helping set him up a lot.
Yeah.
Parker's been really his best when he's driving and maybe he finds the open guy.
He's the new LeBron in this series.
Not at all. But anyway, I looked at then of course, Manu Ginobili. First start of the season. And he comes up with 24 points.
This is the first time he showed up in the series.
Everyone's been saying he turned back the clock. All he needed was a wig. That's all he needed. Manu Ginobili looked great last night. But he had a couple times he went in the lane, took floaters, simple shots.
That is the old.
It's older the way he used to play. I mean, now he's been taking a lot more jump shots, but taking those floaters, getting the space. And doing what you want to take the shot, whether it's you call it a good shot. I mean, he makes those though, and he
as long as you make it, it's a good shot if you make it.
In that case, that is very true. But I mean, what do you think about Ginobili starting? What's your opinion on that?
If it works, do it. It's the NBA Finals. You have to do whatever it takes to work.
I think it's different. It's different because they've been trying to put him coming off the bench, and you like to see. When Duncan and Parker get tired, maybe you take them off and you put someone like Ginobili or Gary Neal in. You hope for the best there. I would say, I mean, Ginobili looked all right with second string players. By putting him again with Duncan and Parker, I think that works a lot better. Duncan's, as he's gotten older, has done a better job of finding the open man. And Parker, of course, as a point guard.
This is probably Tim Duncan's last hurrah with the Spurs.
Do you think it's his last season, though?
I don't think it's his last season, but this is the last time to win a title.
I think I have to agree with that. I think the Spurs are going to lose a lot of guys regardless of what happens in this finals.
Hey, you never know. They might be in the running for a Dwight Howard because Dwight Howard has said he is interested in San Antonio.
The Atlanta Hawks. They've got a lot of money set aside.
A lot of teams have a lot of money set aside.
But NBA free agency is a talk for another day. NBA finals are still going on. What did the Heat have to do to win Game 6?
They have to work more as a team.
More specifically, what do you feel?
LeBron obviously has to get going. He has to start facilitating more. He's obviously not scoring. San Antonio has blocked that option. He has to get people like Chris Bosh more involved down low. Maybe have Dwayne Wade hitting more jump shots. Get Ray Allen more involved. Even Chalmers.
Yeah, Mario Chalmers has been a little bit absent at times. He's had times where he shows his flashes. I think the biggest thing with LeBron James is they're gonna have to they got to find a way to get him into the lane more. The Spurs have been blocking that off shot. The Heat like to do those pick and rolls. They have a guy come up, and LeBron will go around. He'll drive to the hoop. If he can't drive, he finds someone in the corner. That option hasn't been available. The Heat have to find new ways to set that available. They need to set more screens that are just off the ball, not just with the ball in them. You need to have, say, Chris Bosh coming up to let Dwayne Wade get free. Dwayne Wade has shown recently he's fine. Look at how he did in Game 4.
I wouldn't necessarily say fine.
Well, he's fine enough for now. He has a max of 2 more games left to play this season, maybe 1 more. Regardless of what injury he has, he's been looking good, and he's got to go full out. I mean, the surgery, whatever, that comes later. Rehabilitation, everything comes later. He has to put his best out now, and from what he's shown, he needs the ball in his hands more. And I think I'm telling you, the screens off the ball are going to help us pave the way. I think for LeBron now. Let's switch over to MLB, though. There's a lot of big topic there. I mean, I think obviously the biggest news everyone's been hearing recently has to relate to the Tampa Bay Rays, of course.
Oh, yeah, the Tampa Bay Rays, they called up their number 4 prospect.
Yeah, Will Myers. He was acquired originally in the James Shields trade back in early December. And a lot of people, right after that trade was made, were saying that the Royals were really lost out. And I guess we find out starting tomorrow because the Rays don't play. They have a doubleheader with the Red Sox tomorrow. Tell us a little bit about Will Myers.
Well, Will Myers, 14 home runs, 57 RBIs in AAA, batting .286 average. Not the best average, but definitely some good power numbers. He hasn't flashed. He hasn't dominated in AAA, but I think the Rays could really use him.
Do you think? I don't think anyone's expecting him immediately to be a huge impact, but the Rays definitely need a little bit more offense in a really, really tight AL Central, AL East, which we have talked about in a recent article. We were talking about the struggles of the Blue Jays. Make sure to check out sports7.sportsblog.com for that. But anyway, the Rays need more offense, and Will Myers, can he provide that? Where will he hit?
He can provide that. I mean, he has an opportunity to hit 4th. I
think he will in time. Okay. I feel like right now you have to start him low. You don't want to put a lot of pressure.
That is a point.
That's the problem with the mid-season call-ups is there seems like there's a lot of pressure on those guys. You want Will Myers, I think, to try to fit in but you don't want to tell him you're going to be our number 4 hitter tomorrow. I don't think Joe Maddon's going to do it. I think he's an excellent manager.
He might do like a number 6 in the number 6 hole. I
think they'll slowly try to move him up.
Yeah, because that's actually similar to what the Pirates did with Pedro Alvarez, which it hasn't worked yet.
This is true. That's true. But I guess that is a little similar comparison.
Yeah.
I just think that with time, with Will Myers and Evan Longoria, maybe 3 or 4.
Yeah, if they keep Longoria.
Maybe you even put Will Myers 3rd, Longoria 4th. I don't know.
Whoever has better power numbers.
That's a good question. Like, how will those two do together?
Tampa
Bay could get some serious offense there.
They could be the next Prince Fielder and Miguel Cabrera.
I think that's what every team was looking for now. I mean, hey, look at San Francisco when Pablo Sandoval is healthy.
Yeah.
Him and Posey.
But Posey hasn't posted that great of power numbers.
When Posey's been healthy, it's been shown to help the Giants. Remember, 3 years he's played 2 full seasons. They've won the World Series both times. Yeah. I don't think that's going to happen this year.
He's not producing as much this year.
I think the Giants still need time to wake up. But anyway, I'm talking about the Giants. We're talking more about Will Myers. We're speaking of recent call-ups. Of course, I think Garrett Cole of the Pittsburgh Pirates is a really big name, too.
He is probably one of the biggest pitching prospects that will come up this season.
Yes.
He was the number 1 overall
He was the number 1 overall pick in 2011.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
In 2 starts, he has posted a 3.75 ERA. His WHIP is 117, 2-0, won his first 2 starts. He actually won these first 2 starts against 2 former Cy Young pitchers, Tim Lincecum and Zach Greinke. He's the first pitcher to do that.
It's impressive, but he got a lot of help.
Yeah.
In both of his outings, he got a lot of offense.
He did get a lot of offense. He provided offense, too.
His first at bat, he had the bases loaded RBI single. That definitely helped a lot.
But
what you've noticed about Cole, what do you think?
He has some power.
Offensively?
He's a power pitcher. He's a power pitcher. He can hit 90.
He throws his fastball.
99.
He's been throwing the fastball high. They're saying they want more of the slider and curveball.
Yeah, he hasn't been able to locate his off-speed pitches yet, which is maybe something they need to polish up at AAA once the Pirates rotation does get healthy again.
Yeah. I think the big reason the Pirates called him out has been all the injuries.
Yeah.
AJ Burnett's hurt, Wandy Rodriguez is hurt. Those are the big names. I mean,
Neil Huntington, their general manager, said they had 10 starters in front of him that could pitch this season.
Yeah.
It has come down to that.
You want Cole to come up because I just feel it's good to get him started early like this. Yeah. The Pirates don't want him. I don't think he was ready to come up personally. But I think he could have used a few more outings. But they needed him.
They needed him. He's helping the team.
He'll go unless his numbers get drastically better. Unless he starts throwing a couple quality starts, I see him going back to AAA once the rotation's healthy. Unless they have to get rid of other players.
AJ Burnett and Wandy Rodriguez, those two have.
We don't know when they'll be back.
Yeah, they have a lot more. They can help the team more than Garrett Cole can help the team right now.
I think in the current time, yes. Yeah. In a few years, obviously Garrett Cole has a lot more potential. We still don't really know what more could come from Garrett Cole. He's looked good. His fastball's high. Yeah. He's not baffling people, and they're not expecting. They're saying that they're expecting some ground balls. They're expecting the strikeouts to come with time now.
Yeah. So most of the hits that have he's given up are just like bloop singles. I know a lot in that game yesterday against the Dodgers. A lot of them are just like bloops over the infield's head.
So we have to see. There's a lot to come from Garrett Cole. I don't know what the expectations are. For right now, I'm going to say Will Myers will help his team more this year than Garrett Cole will. I think that's a fair statement. Now, obviously, there's a lot of other talk in MLB. Speaking of other prospects, I guess we should touch on the last one. It's nice to note Zach Wheeler of the New York Mets is going to be called up for tomorrow. They have a doubleheader with the Braves. Yeah. He was originally acquired in the trade with the Giants in the Carlos Beltran trade. It was 2 years ago, I believe. Yep. And also, I guess a little bit ago, Brandon Beachy is expected to come off with a DL for the Braves. He will start game 1, I believe. I don't know. I forget which games Wheeler is pitching. It's 1 or 2, but I guess we'll see. Right. That is worth noting. Zach Wheeler's come to be.
It's just going to be.
He's come to be a side story for when he's someone to watch when Matt Harvey isn't pitching. I guess for the Mets. Sell tickets right now. They're looking bad. Tyler, there's a lot of other stuff going in baseball tonight. A
big game last night was the Angels and the Yankees.
Well, the Yankees finally had some offense, but they almost lost though.
This is a game between two, I would say, struggling teams right now.
Yeah.
The Yankees were on a 5-game losing streak. The Angels under 500 right now. The Yankees had CC Sabathia on the hill.
They needed a big outing. They weren't expecting much offense, and he looked good.
He did very good. It was the 9th inning. CC was still on the hill. He had a 6-0 lead. He let 2 men get on. Girardi put in
David Robertson.
Oh yeah,
and
then
Robertson came in he gave several runs, and then Rivera came in,
gave up some more runs, and it ended up being 6-5.
When Rivera was in though, later, bases loaded, Albert Pujols sat back.
2 outs, struck him out.
They got the out. That's classic Rivera. Yeah. I'll tell you what. If this is gonna be, obviously this is gonna be his last season. This is one for the highlights for his career. This is a heck of a win for the Yankees. They needed.
It was lucky.
I mean, Rivera's got. You can't hit that cutter.
You can't. But when you already give up a couple runs, you're gonna be a little tested.
He is a little bit, and I think it was impressive getting Albert Pujols as well.
Yeah.
Regardless of what people are saying with the Angels, and regardless of what their record showed, they have a ton of guys in that lineup who can hit. So
the Yankees.
I'm talking about the Angels.
Angels. Okay.
Look at that lineup. I think that's a good win for the Yankees. They needed that. They're playing the Dodgers. The Dodgers have been struggling of late. We'll see how the Yankees do in that one. But close to one there.
Another interesting series this weekend was the Cardinals and the Marlins.
Yeah, the Cardinals hadn't lost a series since late April.
Yeah.
April 26th and 28th, I believe. They had a home series against the Pirates, and they lost 2 of 3 in that.
And this is the first road series they lost since their first series of the season.
To the Marlins.
The Marlins
have the worst record in baseball. Worse than the Astros. You know what, though? All these games were fairly close, I think.
Well,
till yesterday, really.
Yeah. They weren't. The Marlins really had a hitting outburst. They had 19 runs in the series. It was the most runs they've scored in the series this season.
It's not a ton, but
it's notable
for the Marlins.
Yeah. Yeah. Then Polanco broke out. Well, I wouldn't say broke out, but he played well Sunday night's game, having 2 RBIs, first RBIs since the last 16 games.
That's
pretty.
It's been a long time. I mean, they have an older lineup. They got some guys there. They're still missing Giancarlo Stanton a little bit.
They are. He's not gonna try there.
Yeah.
I need to trade him.
They're gonna have to trade him
unless
they can get talent there in the short term.
They're not.
They're hoping they can save money again, but look at what they did with the last time they saved money. Bringing Jose Reyes, he's gone. Hanley Ramirez had to leave. I mean, that didn't go well. Marlins are looking bad, but hey, they got a series win. That's something for them. Beating the Cardinals, Cardinals
have been good lately.
Yeah, they got Shelby Miller going tonight, though, so that maybe they'll get back on track.
Yeah.
The Cubs have been struggling, but the Marlins have been struggling, so.
Hey, you never know.
You don't know what brings.
Downhill.
What else in baseball, Tyler?
Well, it's a notable series in the NL West. It's probably one of the closest divisions in baseball. The top 4 teams separated by 2 games.
Mm-hmm.
Notable.
Yeah,
the Padres are actually even in that too. Notable.
Yes, the Padres this season, I think.
The 2011
they're at the top.
Pirates.
The Padres are at the top right now, but we don't know how long they're really going to stay there.
Yeah.
Because when you look at their team, you don't see the stuff that lasts in the postseason. They remind me of the Diamondbacks 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Remember,
okay.
The Diamondbacks made a little bit of a run. They won their division. They got some news. They were out pretty quick, though. If the Padres make the playoffs, they're not gonna start
It'll be
some
a wild
dynasty.
Card. Well,
they might win the division.
That division
is so
isn't
weak.
It's a weak division. Look
at the Rockies. They have an incredible offense, but they can't win games.
Yeah, they don't have pitching.
Exactly. So I think the Padres might win it. I don't know. It depends if Chase Headley gets traded or not. Yeah, if the Padres see signs that they might not be able to last for a full year,
they'll trade him.
And I think that's the right move. Unfortunately, at this point, they're a team that just
they need talent.
They can only contend on it. They don't have the money to contend long term. They have to get these years. So maybe they decide that this year is the year. Let's make a run at the playoffs. Let's see what we can do in 1 year. Sells tickets. Unfortunately, that's got to be the mind of some small market teams.
Well,
actually, can't get. You know, with your money, you can't develop, and you don't have the prospects that are ready. You have to go for maybe that short term. Try to make it short. You sell tickets, you make more money that way. I think that.
Well, actually, there was a study done recently that says small market teams make more money spending less money. It's pretty sad, but it's true.
Baseball's really messed up right now. I'm still in favor of the salary cap idea. I don't know when, but
there needs to be some changes in baseball.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Baseball's a little bit of a mess right now. Now, obviously, let's switch over from baseball. Let's go to NHL. Game 3 of the Stanley Cup Finals tonight. both games so far have gone into overtime. We had 4-3 Blackhawks triple overtime win. Game 1. Game 2, they lost 2-1 in a single overtime.
Yep.
Fortunately for the stamina of both teams. But now the series will shift to Boston, where the Bruins currently are 7-2 and haven't lost at home in the playoffs since round 1 to the Maple Leafs.
Which is definitely significant because that was against the Penguins.
Round 1 was against the Maple Leafs.
And then, they were undefeated at home against the Penguins.
And the Rangers, they looked really good both those times at home. Securing home dominance is important in the playoffs. Yeah. And the fact that they got 1 of 2 from on the road, I think that was really important.
Yeah, and if they keep their home winning streak going, they'll go back to Chicago up 3-1.
They could. And that puts a lot of pressure on the Blackhawks, but I'm not sure. The Blackhawks preferably would rather have won that second game, considering they're 3-4 so far on the road in the playoffs. They've had some games. The second round series against the Red Wings is the one I think about the most. They look uncomfortable in Joe Louis Arena, and I understand it's tough to win those road games in the playoffs, especially. But
it's tough.
I mean, you look at the LA Kings of last year. They were dominant
berserk
on the road. They just looked.
Yeah.
They win every bill, and they were confident. So you have to see how the Blackhawks will do with that. Obviously, the big name for the Blackhawks has to be Patrick Sharp this year in the playoffs. He's had 9 goals. He scored their only goal in Game 2. He's looked really good, I think. And you need that when Jonathan Toews hasn't been scoring a little bit lately.
Yeah.
Patrick Kane has been on and off.
He's stepped up for the Blackhawks.
Yeah. Patrick Kane's been I mean, there was Game 5 of their series against the Kings. He had a hat trick in that game. But before that, he hadn't done as much in the series. They need more from Kane and Toews. And Toews, they're facing tough battles. I don't know. They're looking for more from those guys for sure. I think the Blackhawks, they did it in Game 2. It was Game 2 or Game 1, but they put Brandon Saad back on a line with Hossa and Toews. And that line had worked really well in the regular season. I think they got a goal. So it's going to be tough for that line to score. That's a smaller kind of line. Your toughest guy, and that's Toews. Which is not an insult to Jonathan Toews at all. But you need him scoring.
Yeah. Boston is a very, very physical team.
Oh, absolutely, and that's how they've been winning. Look at their series against the Penguins. They use physicality on Crosby. They need to continue to be physical on Jonathan Toews.
Yeah.
I think they shut him down. They can shut the Blackhawks down. Because Patrick Kane's a good player, but he's going to need some help. I mean, he needs someone to help him.
Yeah.
But when you talk about physical players, I think the Blackhawks can counter very well with Brian Bickle.
Yeah.
He's not really. He wasn't known for scoring that much. He's had 8 goals this postseason.
Which is impressive. He just got on a hot streak. He just been playing very well.
Players turn up their game at different times of the year, and sometimes that's a
look at Talbot for the Penguins when they made their cup run
a couple of years ago. He did do well. You talk about guys who've been turning up recently. David Krejci's postseason success the past few years. I'll tell you what, 9 goals, 14 assists this year. He's looked really, really strong. But he hasn't scored in the Cup final yet.
That's surprising.
2 games. It is only 2 games so far.
Yeah.
He's going to get on the board eventually, I think.
Yeah. It's just a matter of time.
I mean, other than that, I think Game 3 is going to go to the Bruins. I think.
I agree with that.
I just feel like going in front of Boston, I think it's going to be. Obviously, there's been a lot of emotion every time they've been in.
Especially with how strong Tuukka Rask been playing.
I mean, I'm saying there's been a lot of emotion in Boston. The whole, the marathon stuff. I think, plus, you have the team's inspired by it. You've seen it every round. Then, obviously, Tuukka Rask, he's had a heck of a playoff so far. 1.73 goals against, .944 save percentage. He's been great. And he's had a better one than Tim Thomas had a few years ago.
That's a very
and
impressive
you need
stat.
this lights out goal.
He's almost comparable to Quick last season.
Yeah, Jonathan Quick was really, really strong. Now, that's a question. Say the Bruins, we hate to assume, because it is an even series right now. Say the Bruins go on to win. Does Rask get MVP?
Easily.
I think even if, no matter how many goals Krejci ends up scoring, he's had a good postseason too. You say Rask either way?
Any way.
That's fair.
Unless Krejci breaks out and has 3.
It's like a hat trick.
3, yeah, and then has
single-handedly wins a game. Yeah, I see Rask as the MVP too. I think it is only 1-1 right now. It's still early in the series. I think I'm gonna say Blackhawks in 6 right now. I see them getting 1 win in Boston in this current 2-game set here. They're gonna win Game 4, and then they're gonna win the next 2 after that. So
I see Bruins in 7.
Bruins
I see them
7?
splitting the Bruins series at home, so they'll go back to Chicago 2-2.
That's gonna be tough.
Yeah, and then Chicago win, make it 3-2, Boston will win, make it 3-3, then Boston will
Now,
finally win.
I think with the real prediction we should make is how many more overtime games will there be. I mean, there's been 2 so far.
Yeah.
Just like last season, there was a lot of overtime games in the Cup final.
Yeah.
So, I guess we gotta see how this one goes.
We will.
Okay, everyone, it's been really good. This was our first video series. First vodcast, I guess.
Vodcast, yeah.
So, it's been really fun doing this. We're gonna try to do a few more of these. We're planning to do one each week. Thank you for watching. See you later.